Welcome to the Collector's Order. Today we're going to be looking at Omega Spawn from Mcfarlane Toys. Now, I haven't been keeping up with the comics, so I don't know much about the character itself. But what I do know is that he's a big honking demon with Spawn's character design. Now that's exciting, so let's get started. So let's take a quick look at the packaging. On the front we've got a nice big window packaging that continues on over to the side, and it says Spawn over here with the Spawn logo. On the back we've got this really dope 2D graphic of Omega Spawn. On the other side we've got a blown up image of that same graphic. Now as you can see, this package is bigger than your standard Mcfarlane Toys box. That's because this is a Megafig. And what that means is that it's supposed to be bigger than your standard Mcfarlane figure. So let's open it up. So let's take a quick look at what we got right out of the package. We've got Spawn in its clamshell packaging right here. What's really cool is that it includes this backdrop with this green fire effect, which is really nice. Be really useful for figure photography or just display purposes itself. So here we got Omega Spawn all set up. Like I said before, I'm not 100% familiar with the character itself, but he's just this big demon version of Spawn because he has all of Spawn's key character designs. He's got the white face paint on his head sculpt. He's got the white body paint that comes up from his crotch. Just with all this added detail with the horns and the spikes all over his body, and the open mouthpiece, which gives him a much more skeletal look. One of the character designs I love about Spawn are the chains. Now the problem with this one is the chains look kind of cheap on this one. I know I know Mcfarlane used to use real chains back in the day, and it seems like they've kind of put that aside and they've gone for these cheap looking plastic. They're painted very nicely, but they just kind of fall a little bit flat. The paint job on these spikes are really nice on his vest. The paint job on this figure is actually really nice. It's one of the better paintings. It's one of the better paint jobs I've seen on a Mcfarlane figure in a long time. All this really nice dry brushing with this yellow all over his body really makes his spikes stand out. Also the red on this character really pops. It's a really nice touch. So one of the things about this character that I noticed that I really enjoy is the use of the elbow swivel instead of a bicep swivel. Most Mcfarlane figures with the bicep swivel, it really limits the range of motion. But this one, you can actually rotate his arms out pretty far. So here we go. This is Omega Spawn from Mcfarlane Toys. I've been collecting Spawn figures for a couple years now, ever since that first Mortal Kombat wave. And I've been getting every Spawn release since, and I've even gone back and collected some vintage Spawn pieces as well. I don't have any experience reading the comics, and it's always seemed like such a daunting task because it's been around for such a long time. I wouldn't really know where to start. But I did watch the movie from the 90s a lot, and ever since then I've fell in love with Spawn's character design. This one's exciting because it's Spawn but in this demonic form. So he's different, so he's gonna look great on my shelf. I found this one out in the wild while I was toy hunting with my wife, and I feel lucky because it was actually the last one. There's a store I usually go to that carries a lot of Mcfarlane and NECA toys. And while I was shuffling through all the things, this was the last one I saw. In general, I slowed down on Mcfarlane products, mainly their Batman stuff, just because there's so much of it coming out. And I also kind of want to focus more on more high-end collectibles and 1/6 scale. But I am planning on picking up Spawn pieces that I like. So if you enjoy Spawn stuff, please subscribe to this channel because I'll be reviewing them here. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.